He ghosted her after a perfect day, not because he didn't like her, but because he liked his peace more. And that right there is your first clue into the mind of a Sigma male. Ever wonder why Sigma males act so strangely confident, even when nobody's watching? Why they disappear after connection? Why they reject the spotlight? And why solitude seems more attractive to them than social validation? It's not an act, it's not rebellion, it's instinct. A Sigma's behavior isn't calculated to impress, it's wired for. These men operate outside the typical dominance hierarchy, refusing to play the alpha's game or chase the beta's approval. According to personality psychology, Sigma males fall into a rare archetype within the socio-sexual hierarchy. Coined by Vox Day, this model outlines alpha, beta, delta, gamma, omega, and sigma, the lone wolf who doesn't seek leadership or followership. He moves alone, yet effortlessly commands respect, and half the time he doesn't even realize he's doing it. Today, we're diving into 8 weird things Sigma males do without even realizing, and the hidden logic behind their unconventional lifestyle. From ghosting without guilt to thriving in silence, these behaviors aren't flaws, they're features of a deeply independent mind. What's up, Sigmas? Welcome back to the place where solitude meets power. This video isn't just another personality breakdown, it's a mirror. If you've ever felt like the world is playing a loud game you didn't sign up for, but you're still winning in silence, this one's for you. Let's unpack 8 oddly specific behaviors Sigma males do without realizing, and why they reveal more about your inner strength than most people will ever understand. Number 1, they disappear, then return like nothing happened. No text, no warning, just vanished. And then boom, he's back like it's a normal Tuesday. To most, this feels like ghosting, a disappearing act. But to a Sigma male, it's something entirely different. It's a tactical withdrawal, a full system reboot. You see, Sigma males operate on a frequency most people don't understand. They're not driven by validation, attention, or external approval. Their internal world is rich, complex, and constantly in motion. When they vanish, they're not avoiding responsibilities or being cold, they're recalibrating. Think of it like a phone that shuts down, not because it's broken, but because it's overheating. That's the Sigma's mind. Too much input, social drama, fake smiles, small talk, overloads the system. Psychologically, this behavior aligns with what's known as introvert restoration. Studies from psychologists like Dr. Laurie Helgo show that introverts, especially those with high independence and analytical thinking, require solitude to process and reset. Sigma males take that to the extreme. They don't just need a break, they do reclaim clarity. And here's the kicker. They don't think it's strange at all. While others might panic about ghosting etiquette or unread messages, the Sigma is in the woods, hiking, meditating, or rebuilding a business plan. Their silence isn't avoidance, it's strategy. Silence to them is sanity. In a world that praises noise and constant connection, Sigma males treat quiet like a sacred ritual. They listen to their inner compass more than any external pressure. When they return, they're not looking for forgiveness or explanations, they're just re-entering their timeline. No drama, no apologies, just presence. This unpredictability is what baffles people, but it's also what makes Sigmas magnetic. Their rhythm is their own, untouched by trends or timelines. So the next time a Sigma disappears, don't take it personally. He's not ghosting you, he's just remembering who he is, without all the noise. And when he comes back, he's sharper, calmer, and more dialed in than ever. Number 2, they stare into space, but they're plotting something. To the average observer, it might look like a Sigma male is zoning out. Blank stare, distant gaze, complete silence. But don't be fooled. What you're witnessing isn't detachment or boredom. Inside that stillness is a full-blown mental operation. This isn't just daydreaming for the sake of fantasy. It's a highly focused, intentional thought process. Sigmas often engage in what psychologists call, while most people might use downtime to scroll, gossip, or complain, Sigmas dive deep into thought. They're visualizing new business models, designing their future lifestyle, calculating their next move, or even rehearsing how they'll handle a potential crisis. It's not escapism, it's strategic planning. In fact, research from the University of British Columbia suggests that mind-wandering, when done deliberately, can enhance problem-solving, creativity, and even emotional regulation. For Sigma males, this kind of mental chess is where they thrive. They're always 10 steps ahead, not because they're paranoid, but because they prefer being prepared in silence rather than being surprised in chaos. Imagine a Sigma walking through a crowded street. He's not just admiring the view, he's analyzing energy, mapping social dynamics, identifying opportunities, and filing away observations. It might look like he's lost in thought, but really he's in control of a highly disciplined mind. That's why many Sigmas are drawn to entrepreneurship, coding, writing, or other solo ventures. These fields reward introspection and give space for their visionary minds to play out plans in detail. While others may need brainstorming sessions or group feedback to think clearly, Sigmas get their clarity in solitude. They are not aloof, they are architects. Architects of futures most people haven't even thought to imagine. They may not always speak their plans aloud, but when they act, it's with precision. That's the power of the internal world they live in. So the next time you see a Sigma lost in thought, remember, he's not spacing out. He's strategizing, he's designing, he's building quietly, efficiently, brilliantly. Number 3, they're brutally honest, then confused why you're offended. A Sigma male will say something that cuts through layers of fluff, and then just stand there, completely unbothered, while everyone else squirms in awkward silence. Why? Because to him it wasn't offensive, it was. Directness is his native language. He doesn't dress his words in layers of politeness or false praise. He speaks in a way that reflects his inner commitment to truth, not to pleasing the room. This doesn't mean he's rude or lacks empathy. In fact, it's quite the opposite. A Sigma male respects people enough to be straightforward with them. He doesn't believe in playing games or sugarcoating reality to avoid discomfort. To him, truth is clarity, and clarity is a form of kindness. The Sigma male operates by an internal code. If it's true, it must be said, even if it's unpopular. This mindset can be traced to their deeply independent nature. They're not ruled by external validation. Unlike alpha males, who often lead through charisma, or beta males, who may seek harmony, Sigmas function outside the social hierarchy. They're guided by principles, not popularity. Psychologically, this behavior reflects traits associated with high openness and low agreeableness. That's not a bad thing. It just means they're more willing to challenge the status quo and less likely to conform for the sake of fitting in. And when someone isn't afraid to tell the uncomfortable truth, it can come off as intimidating to those used to niceties and filters. Imagine a meeting where everyone is politely dancing around a problem. Then the Sigma speaks, "This plan will fail unless we fix X, Y, and Z." Silence. Shock. But he's not trying to cause tension, he's trying to solve the issue with accuracy. In a world overflowing with flattery, distraction, and white lies, the Sigma male's commitment to truth makes him rare. He doesn't use it to dominate or insult. He sees truth as the highest currency, something that must be protected, practiced, and never diluted. So the next time a Sigma male drops a blunt observation, don't mistake it for arrogance. It's not cruelty, it's clarity. And in a society obsessed with comfort, clarity is often the most powerful and feared form of communication. Number 4, they avoid group photos like it's a disease. You'll never catch a Sigma male throwing up peace signs in a big group selfie. While the crowd huddles together shouting, "Say cheese," he's probably standing off to the side near a window, contemplating something far bigger, like the solar system or how fleeting moments really are. This isn't arrogance, it's wiring. Sigma males have an aversion to performative behavior. Public displays for the sake of attention or validation simply don't resonate with them. While extroverted personalities thrive on external affirmation, likes, comments, shares, Sigma males draw their sense of worth from within. It's what psychologists might call doing something because it aligns with one's values, not because it gets applause. This inward focus makes them appear mysterious, even aloof, but really they just don't need to be seen to feel significant. In fact, studies on introversion and self-determination theory show that people with a high level of autonomy and low social dependency tend to be more resistant to peer pressure and less likely to chase approval. Sigma males fit this profile perfectly. They're not antisocial either, that's a common misconception. A Sigma male can enjoy people, conversations, and even meaningful connections. What he avoids is the kind where everyone's trying to outshine each other or prove something to a crowd. His absence from the photo isn't a rejection of others, it's a quiet declaration. I don't need proof I was here, I was. This mindset bleeds into how Sigma males move through life. They rarely overshare. They don't rush to broadcast milestones. Their presence is best felt, not posted. You feel them in the depth of a one-on-one conversation, the precision of their decisions, and the peace that follows them in chaos. So next time you scroll through a group picture and wonder where he went, he's not being rude. He's simply wired differently. He values experiences over appearances, depth over display. And while the group laughs at the fifth retake of the same photo, he's looking out the window, thinking about stars, time, and maybe, just maybe, how small but meaningful this exact moment really is. Number 5, they laugh in high-stress situations. When chaos hits, most panic. Sigmas? They smirk. It's not arrogance, it's mental conditioning. In a world that glorifies loud responses and impulsive decisions, the Sigma male stands apart. When the average person spirals in uncertainty, the Sigma doesn't just stay calm. Why? Because chaos is not unfamiliar territory to him. In fact, it's his training ground. Sigmas thrive in unpredictability because they for it. They're the ones who've rehearsed worst-case scenarios in their minds, not out of fear, but out of foresight. Neuroscience supports this behavior. Studies show that people who rehearse adaptive responses to stress through visualization are more likely to remain composed during crises. In simple terms, Sigmas don't wing it. They plan for turbulence like pilots in a storm. That smirk, it's not just confidence, it's a signal. A signal that while others are drowning in emotion, he's already running mental simulations of what to do next. It's the unspoken language of strategic thinking. And here's a fact. The prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain responsible for planning and rational thinking, tends to be more active in people who consistently remain calm under pressure. Sigmas, whether consciously or through habit, activate this part like a well-oiled machine. Their calm isn't accidental, it's a lifestyle. They avoid drama not because they're indifferent, but because they know emotional chaos burns energy they could use for action. Sigmas are students of stoicism, whether they realize it or not. Like Marcus Aurelius once said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. Sigmas internalize this. They understand that remaining centered is a form of power, while others react Sigmas. And that makes all the difference. In boardrooms, breakups, or battles, he doesn't just survive the storm, it. So the next time the world tilts, look for the one who's steady while the rest shake. That's a Sigma. Calm isn't just a reaction. For him, it's the default setting. Number 6, they downplay their achievements to see who's paying attention. While everyone else is broadcasting every small win on social media, posting selfies with motivational quotes, or sharing every gym check-in, Sigma males take a completely different route. They operate in silence, moving with purpose while the world craves attention. Their mindset is deeply rooted in a belief. Sigmas aren't interested in applause, they're interested in results. When they mention they started a business, it's usually in passing, like it's no big deal. No grand announcement, no flashy launch party, just a quiet acknowledgement that they've been building something in the background while others were scrolling. They might casually drop in conversation that they're learning 3 new languages. Not to impress, but because self-development is a personal mission, not a public performance. And here's what's fascinating. This quiet strength is actually a psychological tactic. Sigmas test people this way. They observe who notices the depth beneath the minimalism, who catches the subtle flex hidden beneath the humility. There's science behind this too. According to studies in behavioral psychology, people who underplay their achievements, often called strategic self-presentation, are seen as more competent and trustworthy over time than those who constantly self-promote. Sigmas instinctively understand this. They've mastered the art of being underestimated only to later surprise you with the magnitude of their accomplishments. This doesn't mean they lack ambition, quite the opposite. Sigmas often work harder than most, they just don't feel the need to narrate every step. It's the classic move in silence, let success make the noise mentality. In a world obsessed with validation, the Sigma male is a rare breed, calm, focused, and grounded. He doesn't need to tell you how powerful he is. He lets his actions, his lifestyle, and his energy speak for him. And the truth is, that's what makes him unforgettable. Not because he shouted the loudest, but because he didn't have to. Number 7, they intuitively mistrust loud people. Something about volume and hype sets off Sigma alarm bells. When someone walks into a room yelling, oversharing, or trying too hard to be the center of attention, A Sigma male doesn't get impressed, he gets cautious. To the Sigma, excessive noise isn't a sign of power, it's a red flag. It screams of overcompensation. Psychology even backs this up. Studies show that people who talk loudly or dominate conversations often suffer from low self-esteem or a need for external validation. In contrast, those who are comfortable in silence usually possess inner confidence. Sigmas instinctively pull back when someone is doing too much, not out of arrogance, but because they're scanning for truth beneath the theatrics. They value energy that's controlled, presence that's earned, and words that carry weight, not volume. To them, noise is insecurity dressed up as confidence. This isn't about being rude, it's about being tuned in. Sigma males are observers. They'd rather sit back, listen, and watch how people carry themselves when no one's clapping. They're not impressed by social masks or inflated personalities. They want to know who someone really is beneath the performance. And here's the twist. While others chase attention, Sigmas study intention. They understand that true strength doesn't have to announce itself, it's simply. That's why you'll often find them in the background, silent but aware, watching the loudest person in the room reveal everything without realizing it. For Sigmas, trust isn't handed out just because you speak well or dress loud. Trust is earned in the quiet moments, in the way someone handles silence, disappointment, or being ignored. So next time you see a Sigma staying silent while everyone else fights for the mic, don't confuse that with indifference. He's listening harder than anyone else. And if he senses authenticity in your stillness, you might earn something few ever do, his respect. Because for the Sigma male, still waters run deep. And hype, that's just ripples on the surface. Number 8, they build exit strategies for everything. Dinner plans, they're already mapping out the route to leave early. New job offer, they've already calculated their exit strategy weeks in advance. This isn't them being antisocial, disloyal, or paranoid. It's something deeper. This is how Sigma males operate. They engineer freedom into everything. Sigma males are not impulsive loners. They're strategic thinkers who value autonomy above approval. While others seek comfort and security, Sigmas seek clarity and mobility. Their mind is always calculating the path of least control. They don't want to, they want to ensure they're never trapped in the first place. Think of it this way. Most people make decisions based on what Sigmas decide based on what especially their time, energy, and emotional independence. So when they accept a job, they don't just look at the salary or perks. They look for how easily they can walk away if the environment turns toxic. When they commit to a relationship, they still preserve their identity and personal space. It's not a lack of loyalty. It's loyalty to their own values first. Psychologically, this mindset aligns with what's called Sigma males believe their outcomes are shaped by their actions, not the system, not the crowd, and certainly not the rules imposed by others. That's why they resist any structure that demands blind obedience, whether it's corporate politics, social trends, or rigid relationship dynamics. Freedom for a Sigma isn't a one-time rebellion. It's a lifestyle architecture. It's why they avoid emotional debt, why they keep a low profile, and why they seem prepared for exits even before entrances are complete. This may come off as cold or calculating to some, but in reality it's a form of mental discipline. Sigmas aren't just trying to be different. They're trying to remain in control of their destiny. So the next time someone accuses them of being distant or detached, understand this, they're not running away from something. They're protecting the one thing that matters most to them, freedom by design. Here's the deal, Sigmas. These weird little quirks, they're not flaws. They're features. They're the unconscious habits of people who've chosen clarity over clout, solitude over noise, freedom over fitting in. If you see yourself in these behaviors, don't shrink back. Lean in. The world is loud, but real strength moves in silence. And if you're not a Sigma yet, don't worry, these qualities can be cultivated. Start with honesty, add discipline, remove the need to be liked, and build a life so solid, silence is the loudest thing about you. Sigmas, if this video hit home, don't just watch in silence. Like it, subscribe, join this tribe of thinkers, builders, and quiet disruptors. Let's keep evolving and keep doing it our way. Stay true and stay Sigma.